Boy, Jalen Lewis is right. It's going to be cold. My phone says it's going to be colder than what it said on the news. It's going to be like 19 degrees on Monday morning. So that's cold. Dang. So yeah, I feels. I didn't think it was. I wasn't looking at the weather. I wasn't paying too close attention. It was cold, so I turned on the heat a bit, and gonna sit here and let it warm up a bit, and then crack my windows for oxygen and get some sleep. But I'm gonna warm it up a bit, so it's good for the plant, and it's a little bit nicer in here. But phew, yeah, tired. But I have a lot more trust in myself and what I'm doing than I do anything happening with people involved in media. And, so yeah, I'll pick up this phone, and when I feel the urge, you can pick up the phone, make a video, you can sleep, you wake up, okay, yeah. So I have a lot more trust in myself than anybody and involved in mass media, period, and anybody involved in military intel operations and things like that. It's insane to engage in conflict over what you want and putting all that we need at risk. So yeah, I have a lot more. I have tons more of trust in myself. As far as faith, I have faith in God. And you can't put your faith in people. You can't. You say, okay, I have faith that Earl will get it done, and Jesus was crucified, and they didn't live the Lord's Prayer. Okay, so have faith in God and trust in people that have faith in God, and life's eternal, grace is infinite. So while I'm gone, everything gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. No woman, no cry. Selfish people suck. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no, you argue about it and fight over it and stuff. The selfish people suck. Like Judah Krishnamurti with those scientists, all those years ago, and that 4-hour talking thing. And you having heard all this as a human being, why don't you change? And he was the guy that was supposed to be like the Buddha. That most intellectuals and academics and stuff that okay, Buddhism is the and that was like 1980. It's 2026, and selfish people still suck, and and human selfishness is the cause of all human suffering, and it's not necessary. And why don't you change? And so but this is radically different. It's radically different. We have this technology that they use to manipulate, and they've always used quote unquote technology to manipulate. Since the Egyptians used to do steam through the floor and put the snakes through the cobras through the floor, and Moses comes up and and so they've been using technology to manipulate the masses, and in the stories they tell about Daniel on the History Channel and stuff, and with the dragon and the this and that and stuff, and how Daniel went through and debuked all their bullshit, and stuff, and so I'm a debaser, and so Earl, but this has been this way for for thousands of years. So people, science is going to solve all our problems with religion. Yeah, fuck you and your mission and your Manhattan Project too. And if you believe they put a man on the moon, there's nothing up his sleeve, nothing, so selfish people with ego problems, that is what they are. And life's eternal and grace is infinite. And we've been putting up with this kind of crap for fuck. How long has this been going on? So we're gonna lose our bass player to another band. But Earl, you're funny. But I still prefer to think of that song as a couple instead of a band member. But I wish I'd never heard that. The way my brain works. Okay, just let it go. Let it go. Earl. It's a good tune though. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a dude. What happened to that's a dude from Mike and the Mechanics? So that's the Living Years dude. And can you hear me? Okay, I see. Okay, because that was like late '70s and then the '80s, and the Living Years. Say it loud, say it clear. Okay. Like England Dan and John Foley. Is it Dan Seals, the country singer? Like, get the fuck. Well, what happened to John Ford Coley, or where'd he go? Like Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. What happened with the Because I know the dude from gosh, the guy who sings "Precious and few are the moments we two can." He was like a lead singer on like 3 or 4 different bands. And I was like, okay, he started out with this, he sang that, and he had a song there, and then he went to Climax, and so you're like, oh, okay, like Clapton, he's on like 4 different bands, right? Like the Traveling Wilburys and stuff. So you'd be like, well, what happened to that dude? Well, he's okay. Oh, well, that makes sense. And they sang that, and then so that sounds familiar. In the white room with white curtain, in the dark white room with black curtains at the station. So you, you go through and so interesting when you look at history and you go listen to things and people give you all these tidbits about Trivial Pursuit and Jeopardy, and Jeopardy Masters. Yeah, there you go. And so I'm watching Davy Crockett and the Riverboat Pirates with Fess Barker and Buddy Hepson and stuff on the Grid Extra. Now we're watching a commercial with a guy whose glasses don't work and he picked up the wrong dog and stuff. Okay. And now a penguin's talking, an animated penguin is talking and saying 2 pairs for only $79, Staten Optical. And then there's a guy pretending to kick another guy in the face in the Wild Wild West. Wild West TV, there you go. And there's Marlon Brando and Carl Malden. There's Tommy Lee Jones, and there's Kenny Rogers. There's John Wayne. And there's Robert Duvall. And there's Gregorio Cortez. It's not Gregorio Cortez, that's just Abraham Quintanilla. No, it's Edward James Olmos. Oh, American Me. That's not on the Wild West TV. Oh, okay. It is me familiar. No, right. So, damn. Philanthropy sucks so bad, man. You sit there and you wonder, it makes you just feel like, Robert Plant, it makes me wonder. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? Did you do? No. Actually, that's one of Lawrence's favorite groups. And Jerry and Linda and Gabe are, they're the devil. And it's like, no, Jimmy Page, the guitarist, bought one of Aleister Crowley's mansions and it wigged him out and he sold it after about a month. That's their connection to Aleister Crowley. Yeah. That's about it. When you look at Zeppelin, they write some of the most honest and critical songs of their own culture, of their own people, their immigrant song. We are your overlords. I mean, it's a very self-critical of Europeans doing fucked up shit song, and I love Levy. Yeah, that's a good one. I like and harmonica. I like the harmonica on it. And and so Stairway is not one of my. It's I do like Jamaica. Yeah, made me mad, mad, mad. And all of my. That's a good one too. But they're a really good band, and they're very self-critical, and they're doing what they got to do to stay popular and pay their bills because they're stuck in hell just like the rest of us, stuff. So I was like, well, yeah, Zeppelin's pretty cool. Yeah, they are. So being paranoid about it that they're a satanic group and stuff like that, because people in Christian corporations make sure you have to listen to Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith. Yes. Really? Okay. What do you want to go do? Go listen to some Zeppelin. Carol, what about you? Well, you got any Kansas? I do have Kansas. Yes, I do. What else? And well, like if I was listening to Day on the Roof, I just heard the news today, and I'm not really much of a drama queen. And when I was ready to have a son, my wife wasn't ready, but I was, and I wasn't almost born ready because I knew when I was young I wasn't. Like with me and Rhonda, I knew we weren't ready. We were 17. We weren't ready to be parents. When I was 20 and Rocky fibbed to me, I could have handled it. I was strong enough, to get my job, do my things, work 2 jobs, I'm just that type of person, when I signed up for the military, because I thought, I do want to get married and I do want to have children. And, I want to do it sooner than later because I love women and I love children. It's not my fault that people that give us the military to mass murder over money are fucked up, and I'm not. So, what I'm saying? Right, yeah. So, but you get that people, well, you're never really ready because you don't have enough money and time to raise a child. Well, then stand up for a Lord's Prayer, and then you're ready when you're mature enough to realize that she's healthy. We can have this baby. The whole community cares because we're living the faith of Psalms, and we're saying it with wisdom of Proverbs, and we have good communications, and we pass on good information and good authority, and we're kind and we're caring, we're intelligent, and we're not doing wackadoodle archaic river pirate shit for movies with banjos and cigars, and an old man river, he just keep rolling on, right? And so, son of a bucket, yeah, I know, but it's nice to know, okay, that we can eliminate insanity and live sane and rational lives, and we can do it overnight without having one guy have to be the focal point of correcting all quantum computing technology that can, because it thinks faster and moves faster and stuff, can even take all the data centers and make the data centers work more like the Messiah, and the Messiah getting quantum computing to reflect the Messiah, as opposed to a bunch of assholes with data centers doing stupid. We need Greenland. What do we need Greenland for? I agree. We need Greenland. The world needs Greenland. Okay, I totally agree. We need Greenland to do what Greenland does best, and that's be cold as hell and and help our ecosystem function properly. But that concerns me though, with the infrastructure and the stupidity of the strategic things and stuff that they have there. When the planet starts to change, and people, it'd be hard for them in Greenland. But what I want to do is make sure that, instead of them having to work their asses off because it's ancient times and stuff like that, that we make sure that we have, those war boats, they thought Denmark and stuff like that, that we have those good boats to make sure that people have what they need to sustain themselves in Greenland. If we actually need people up there in Greenland to still live in Greenland, and that they're well taken care of and they're healthy, not just, physiologically, but mentally and emotionally. Because, people that would get used to that and live there for hundreds of years would, be mentally and emotionally be able to cognitively function there. I wouldn't. Okay. It would be very difficult for me, to, have insomnia like Al Pacino or Robin Williams on the movie, and then have the vampire movies with it's always night, it's cold as hell, I'm freezing my ass off. What do you, I'm let's put lipstick on a pit bull, right? And so we really have to be intelligent in the way we relate to each other, and make sure that people have the best globally that we can do to help each other, because what affects one of us affects all of us, right? So that's muy más importante, cero, right? Okay, so love me do. I love you, so please love me do. And so oh, shimmy, shimmy, the cocoa bop, and the bop of the shimmy, the bop, bop, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, 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 shimmy, the bop, bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop, bop, kimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, bop, bop. Right? So, the banjo player came and put a hole in their boat on this here movie. Espionage, yeah. Economics and economic warfare, yeah. How stupid is stupid? Well, this was like 1950 something, right? Okay, a Charlie Chan of you, right? And so, shit, I'm tired. I love human beings, though. I definitely love kids. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love kiddos. They're so cute. They're adorable. Yeah. And I love families. And families, should live the love of Jesus Christo, And the love of Jesus Christo is the faith of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, and Abraham. There you go. Let's not get tribal, secular, and insular. Let's love. Why you take so long to come to me? And so, shit, I'm tired. Yeah. But, let's just hope the, quantum computing is getting better. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I hope so. What about the data centers? That's pretty sick and insane, but, I've lived in this community, a large portion of and been monitored and followed and studied by my entire life, And so it doesn't, I'm not like sitting there going, oh, okay, this is, I can't believe this is happening, because I did that earlier. Jesus in my head. Earl, you sound like your family. This is happening. You have to believe it's happening. Okay. This is happening. It sucks. Right. Okay. So survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. I'm the focal point. It's not Bubba Wilson. It's not Barack Obama. It's not play Chumba Casino to Andrew. It's not any of that stupid shit, right? So it's me, And since people are praying to a human being as a god, and he's the focal point of being that god, it seems that, yeah, it's most likely the case that it's genocidal, and the focal point of the technology to perpetuate genocide is the people that claim that I'm their god, and then do everything in their pathetical existence to make sure that I'm anonymous on YouTube and being psychologically, physically, and emotionally tortured by the worst scientists in the history of fucking them, right? So yeah, that makes sense, but it doesn't make the other people fighting them makes them the same thing. It's just it's a coin and heads or tails. There you go. And so that's what we're dealing with. And so I know I used to think when I first started it, I thought, well, Barack Obama's going to be my best friend. Jennifer Lopez is going to be my forever love. They'd get to me if they could. And now I'm like, yeah, her fate's worse than death. And Satan will always be here, even if she comes in the form of a beautiful woman. Yeah, I get it. And violent men, very aggressive and violent men, have a tendency to be bisexual. And I'm not. So we'll get there. Well, they were telling me on the roof, is like, Earl, you're the most gorgeous man in the history of your generation and even this generation, because you're going to make sure that the men of this generation are going to be as gorgeous as you and the real Jesus. So there's going to, there'll be a Tia Carrera to my Sean Connery in Dark Reign or something like that, probably. Yeah, most likely, yeah. I can see that. I get nervous and uncomfortable about it and stuff, because I always said, well, I want women close to my age, because they had me attached to that when I was younger. But the women close to my age are shallow, superficial, and all over the Golden Globes doing Zoolander faces for the camera. And I'm pretty certain that there'll be younger women, because I'm fixing the technology, that will be like, I want to help him. I want to help him recover. I think he's gorgeous. I totally agree. I think he's gorgeous too. And even though, sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I don't pay attention to how my eyebrows or eyelashes are on, or if I've clipped my nose hairs properly to look, or if I have green chili in my teeth after breakfast. That doesn't really concern me that much. What concerns me, that there's things you just don't care about when you get older. You do care. I want to be healthy. I want to be attractive, and I want to feel good, taste good, smell good, all the things I can do to the best of my ability. But you're not that concerned about it when, you're more focused on making sure children and families get to live the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer, and we get to live the faith of Psalms and sustain it with the wisdom of Proverbs. That's more, what I care about. Well, that's what I care about, and that's more of my concern. So, I know I'm gorgeous. I get it. I understand, though. It's okay. I don't need you to explain it to me. I just explained it to you. Okay, I love you. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow. Okay, peace out.